Picture this. You wake up 50,000 years ago, naked and alone on an African savanna. No shelter, no fire, no tools, just you, your modern human brain, and a world that wants to kill you. Could you survive even one day? Every day, millions of people escape to nature documentaries, camping trips, and outdoor adventures, romanticizing the simple life of our prehistoric ancestors. We imagine ourselves as rugged hunter-gatherers, living off the land with nothing but our wits, but the reality of Paleolithic life was far more brutal than any reality TV show. Modern archaeology reveals that our Stone Age ancestors faced challenges that would crush most of us within hours. The Smithsonian Institution's Human Origins program notes that our ancestors met astonishing challenges in their surroundings and were susceptible to disease, injury, and predators. Recent discoveries from 2024 show us how sophisticated these early humans had to be just to stay alive. The question isn't whether you're tough enough. The question is whether your modern brain and body could adapt fast enough before the Paleolithic world claimed another victim. The first hour, your first challenge, wouldn't be finding food or making fire. It would be staying alive long enough to worry about those luxuries. Research on evolutionary predators shows that spotted hyenas regularly prey on baboons and, in some regions, people. The extinct short-faced hyena picrata was the size of a lion and had a mouth capable of fully enveloping a hominid's head. Every shadow, every rustling bush, every snap of a twig could mean death. Our anxiety responses evolved specifically because our predecessors stood a good chance of being eaten by bigger, badder species. Your modern body would actually work against you. Anthropologist Clint Janulis from the University of Oxford explains that most hunter-gatherers today grow up tracking from birth and become keen observers of nuances in animal behavior, nuances that would be completely missed by most modern people, while you're squinting at the horizon trying to figure out if that shape is a rock or a lion. A Paleolithic human would have already identified the threat, calculated escape routes, and started moving towards safety. Your life would depend on learning faster than you've ever learned before. Finding shelter becomes your next desperate priority. Excavations reveal that prehistoric hunter-gatherers would have used natural shelters as living space. Overhang cliffs provided a place to nestle into, to escape the wind and rain. Caves were highly popular, but here's where modern humans face a cruel irony. In very cold climates, some people made shelters from ice and snow, using the large bones from dead woolly mammoths to build frames. Without thousands of years of inherited knowledge, you'd be trying to reinvent architecture, while hypothermia crept through your bones. The 5,000-year-old remains of the Iceman show sophisticated clothing was possible, including a heavy coat made of goat and sheep hide stitched together, tight-fitting leggings, and shoes constructed from woven grass, tree fibers, and deer hide. The problem, creating even basic shelter, requires tools you don't have, materials you can't identify, and techniques that took our ancestors thousands of years to perfect. Every night without adequate protection brings you closer to becoming another casualty of the Paleolithic world. The fire wasn't just comfort for Paleolithic humans. It was the difference between life and death. Evidence from sites like Kubi 4 in Kenya shows that fire enabled hunter-gatherers to stay warm, cook their food, and scare away wild animals. But making fire from scratch requires more than rubbing two sticks together. Anthropologist Brian Fagan from the University of California, Santa Barbara notes that Ice Age humans devised tools and strategies to survive harsh climates and develop sophisticated fire-making techniques. Without modern tools, you'd need to master friction-based methods requiring specific wood types, proper tinder, and technique, perfected through countless failures. Meanwhile, every sunset brings another night of vulnerability to predators, and cold. Modern experiments show that even experienced primitive skills instructors often struggle for hours to create fire under ideal conditions. Imagine attempting this while hungry, cold, and listening to hyenas calling in the distance. Your ancestors didn't just make fire, they mastered an art form that kept their species alive. Hunting required sophisticated knowledge that modern humans simply don't possess. As Janulus explains, the biggest lost skill in any one technique or prehistoric craft, it's the loss of culturally and generationally developed subsistence patterns specific to an environment. Fossil records from eastern France show that Ice Age hunters built fires every fall and spring to corral migrating herds of wild horses and reindeer into narrow valleys, making them easier to kill. This allowed for harvesting an abundance of meat that was then dried for the off-seasons. This coordinated hunting continued for tens of thousands of years, but hunting was just half the challenge. A 2016 study of early humans in Israel revealed that hunter-gatherers ate up to 55 different types of plants. Identifying edible plants require generational knowledge passed down through families and bands. The consequences of getting this wrong: deadly. Research shows the seeds of the jequirity plant look tasty. Too bad they'll kill you. It contains abrin, one of the most lethal known botanical toxins. One wrong choice, and your prehistoric adventure ends in poisoning. Invisible killers. While you're focused on lions and leopards, microscopic predators pose an equally deadly threat. Recent genetic analysis suggests many human-specific infectious diseases may have originated in the Paleolithic period, not later agricultural ones. DNA evidence from ancient humans reveals that even in the Upper Paleolithic, pathogens were present in teeth, most likely in the bloodstream. Without modern medicine or antiseptics, a simple cut could become a life-threatening infection. Parasites also shaped human evolution. Research indicates that parasitic forms shaped our immune systems to such an extent that some of us even miss their absence. Your modern immune system, adapted to contemporary challenges, might be poorly equipped for ancient diseases. Even drinking water presented mortal danger. Paleolithic humans had to identify safe sources while avoiding those contaminated with deadly bacteria and parasites. Every sip was a calculated risk. The social strategy: perhaps your only hope lies in the same strategy that allowed our ancestors to thrive. Cooperation. Dig sites show that during the Paleolithic age, hominins grouped together in small societies, family bands of 25 or fewer people. Because survival was difficult and cooperation vital, these groups developed sophisticated social structures where members recognized differences in ability and used them strategically. Individual toughness wasn't enough. Ice Age humans transmitted vast knowledge about seasons, edible plants, migrations, and weather through art, music, and storytelling. The famous cave paintings at Lascaux and Chauvet weren't decoration, they were instruction manuals. As Fagan notes, wildlife biologists can tell what time of year the paintings were made just by looking at animal hides and fur depicted. These people knew their environment in ways modern humans can barely comprehend. Modern advantages and fatal weaknesses. Your modern human brain offers some advantages. Research confirms that the basic structure of the human brain hasn't changed. In tens of thousands of years, you possess the same intellectual capacity that allowed your ancestors to thrive. You might also have better nutrition and physical development than many Paleolithic humans. But your advantages pale next to your weaknesses. Modern life has eliminated the observational skills, environmental awareness,